Most people think saving and investing is complicated, but the truth is there are simple strategies nearly anyone can use to seriously grow their money. The problem is most people don't know where to start. They either feel like they don't have enough money, they're unsure of the best place to put it, or they're stuck waiting for the perfect time to start. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 simple and effective saving and investing strategies that most people overlook, but that you should absolutely be using starting today. One of the biggest reasons people struggle to save or invest is that they rely on willpower. They tell themselves, I'll save whatever is left over at the end of the month. But let's be real. How often is there actually any money left over? If you wait until the end of the month to save or invest, chances are you won't. Life happens. Unexpected expenses pop up, spending creeps in, and before you know it, your money is gone. And that's why automating your money is one of the smartest financial moves that you can make. Hey everyone, I'm Rose Colburn, and I'm here to help you take control of your personal finances so that you can create a life that you truly love. I keep financial freedom real, attainable, and BS free because no one should feel like wealth is out of reach. If you're tired of advice that sounds good in theory, but doesn't actually work in real life, then you're in the right place. And if you've ever wondered about the saving and investing strategies that the pros use, then this video is for you. When you automate your savings and investments, you take the decision-making out of the equation. You don't have to remember to transfer money. You don't have to feel the pain of setting it aside. And most importantly, you don't have to be tempted to not spend it. Here's an example. Let's say you set up an automatic transfer to move $50 into your Freedom Fund every payday. It happens without you thinking about it before you even see the money in your checking account. Then you set up another automatic transfer to invest another $50 in an index fund, maybe a Roth IRA. Again, it happens automatically without you needing to do anything. That's just $100 per paycheck. But over the course of a year, that's $2,600 saved and invested without any effort on your part. And that's assuming that everything stays the same. But imagine how much more it could grow if your income increases or your financial situation improves, allowing you to turn that $100 into $200 or $300 or even more. And here's the best part. Automation works, no matter what your income level is. You can start small, and even if that's just $10 per paycheck right now, and then start increasing the amount as your income grows or your finances improve. The key is just getting into the habit of paying yourself first. And this is how the pros build wealth, by making smart money decisions once and letting the system do the work for them. Because when saving and investing happens automatically, you don't have to rely on motivation or willpower. It just gets done. Once your money is automated, the next strategy is making sure it's actually working for you. A lot of people think that the only way to grow their savings and investments is by cutting back on expenses or working harder to make more money. But what if I told you there's free money out there that you might be missing? One of the smartest financial moves you can make is taking advantage of free money opportunities like employer 401k matches, cashback rewards, high-yield interest, and even tax advantages that keep more money in your pocket. So let's start with one of the biggest opportunities, which is employer 401k matches. If your employer offers a 401k match, this is the easiest and most effective way to instantly double a portion of your money. Let's say your annual contribution is $2,500 and your employer adds another $2,500 for free. That's an instant 100% return on your money before your investments even start growing. And yet millions of Americans leave this free money on the table every year because they don't contribute to their 401k. And if you're not sure what your employer offers, check your benefits package or even just ask HR, because if you're not taking advantage of this, you're literally giving up free money. But employer matches aren't the only way to get free money working for you. Another easy win is cashback rewards. Now, before you think that I'm going to tell you to rack up some credit card debt, no, that's not what this is about. Cashback rewards only work if you're using your credit card for things that you already plan to buy and are paying it off in full each month. For example, let's say you put $1,000 of your regular expenses on the card with a 2% cash back. That's $20 per month or $240 a year, completely free. The most important part of this strategy is understanding how interest works on your credit card and making sure you pay off the full balance before any interest kicks in. Because if you're paying interest on your essential purchases, you're not actually getting free money. You're just canceling out your cash back with those extra costs. And if you're putting that $240 into a high yield savings account, now you're earning in even more. Instead of keeping your savings in a low interest checking account, move it into a high yield savings account. A quick Google search will show you the rates that different banks are offering for their high yield savings accounts. Let's say you deposit $10,000 into one earning 4%. That's an extra $400 per year just for keeping your money in the right place. The key takeaway here is there's free money out there. You just have to claim it. So here's what you can do today to take advantage of the free money you might be missing out on. One is to check your employer benefits. See if you're missing out on a 401k match. Two is to look at your spending. Can you earn cash back on everyday purchases without overspending? And three is to move your savings. If your money is sitting in a low interest account, it's time to upgrade to a high yield savings account. These small changes don't take any extra effort, but they add up big time. And they're one of the easiest ways to maximize your savings and investments. So leave a comment below to tell me which one you're going to start with, a 401k, cashback, or savings. Now, the next strategy involves your savings. It's pretty common to think about savings as one bank account where you set aside money for your rainy day fund or emergencies. If your one savings account has to cover emergencies, planned expenses, and future goals, how do you know how much to save for each one? How do you know when it's okay to spend it? You need to be super organized and carefully track every deposit and withdrawal from this account. And let me tell you, it's easy to lose track of what the money is actually for, and that's when you run into problems. That's why tiered savings is such a game changer. Instead of keeping everything in one place, you separate your money based on its purpose, so you always know exactly what you have and what it's meant to cover. The best way to do this is to create 3 specific savings accounts. Okay, so we're at the point in this video where we need to press pause before I deliver any more information. This is where I have to tell you that I'm not a financial advisor, and everything I'm sharing here is based on my own personal experiences and my research. So please make sure to do your own research, and if you need to, consult a professional to figure out the best options for your situation. I don't want to get into trouble with whoever it is that I'd be in trouble with. So here's the required statement. This advice is for education and entertainment use only. Now, if you're watching financial advice videos for entertainment, well, I'd really like to hear what channels you find the most amusing and entertaining. But honestly, I just hope that you will find what I have to tell you today to be helpful and educational for your financial situation. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's move on. First, your freedom fund. This is your short-term savings, the money that protects you when life throws you a curveball. Think of car repairs, medical bills, a broken appliance. This is what keeps you from reaching for a credit card or taking out a loan when unexpected expenses come up. So where should you keep it? A high yield savings account is a great option because it keeps your money safe and you earn some interest while you're not using it. So some people also use a money market account, which can sometimes offer better rates and even give you some things like check writing privileges. But real quick, I need to clear up something important. Money market accounts and money market funds are not the same thing. A money market account, if it's at an FDIC insured bank, is insured, just like a regular savings account. A money market fund, on the other hand, is an investment, which means it carries some risk, and that's not what you want for your freedom fund. Now, the big question, how much should you save? And there's one thing that so many financial experts get wrong when they give advice about personal finances, and that's the personal part. They like to give out one-size-fits-all advice, and you've probably heard a bunch of different numbers. You must save 6 months of expenses, or you need $10,000 for your emergency fund. But here's the thing. There's no universal number. It depends entirely on your financial situation. If you're just getting started and aren't sure of how much to save, a great first goal is just 1 month of essential expenses. This gives you a solid foundation, and from there you can build it up based on what makes the most sense for you. Next is your purposeful savings fund. This is for planned expenses, the things you know are coming up but aren't part of your monthly budget. And it includes things like annual car registration and insurance premiums, holiday gifts, birthday presents, medical deductibles, dental visits, prescriptions, back to school shopping, routine home or car maintenance. You get the idea here. Basically, these are expenses that might not happen every month, but when they do come up, you don't want to be scrambling for the money. So where should you keep this money? Again, a high yield savings account works great here too, because your money earns some interest while it's sitting in the bank. Some people, they use a money market account for this as well, and you could keep it in a regular checking account for convenience, especially if you want to write checks for some of these expenses. But just keep in mind that checking accounts usually don't earn much interest, so you're better off with a savings or a money market option. I'm not going to go into detail about how much to keep in this account since I cover all of this in another video, so I'll link that in the cards up above. Now, you don't need to open a separate account for every single expense. That would get overwhelming really fast. Instead, you can keep all of this money in one purposeful savings account and track what's allocated to each expense using a simple spreadsheet, a notebook, or even a budgeting app. And finally, the last fund is your future goals fund. And this is where you set aside money for big financial goals. Things like buying a house or starting a business or traveling, making a major purchase. The best place to keep this money depends on when you need it. For example, if your goal is 1 to 3 years away, a high yield savings account again, or a certificate of deposit can help your money grow while keeping it safe. If your goal is 3 to 5 years away, a money market account might be a better option because they often offer higher returns while still keeping your money accessible. And for goals that are beyond 5 years, you'll probably want to start investing, which is what we're covering in the next section. Now, if you want a deep dive into how I personally structure each of these savings accounts, I've linked to that video in the description below. And what's important to remember here is this. When you organize your savings into these categories, you remove the stress and confusion around money. And when you do that, saving money becomes way easier. So let's talk about investing, which is the fourth strategy. Because for a lot of people, it sounds risky and complicated or like something you need to have a ton of money to get into. But here's the truth. Investing is one of the most powerful ways to build wealth over time. And you don't need to be a stock market expert or have a huge income to get started. The biggest mistake people make with investing is thinking they need to pick individual stocks, time the market, or constantly monitor their investments. The reality is the smartest investors use simple, proven strategies that grow wealth with minimal effort. So if you're someone who's been hesitant to start investing, let me walk you through some of the best low-risk, high-reward strategies that can help you build wealth without needing a financial degree. The first strategy is index funds and ETFs, which is one of the easiest and most effective ways to invest. Instead of picking individual stocks and hoping they go up, an index fund or an ETF spreads your investment across hundreds or maybe even thousands of companies. This gives you automatic diversification, meaning your risk is lower and your money has the potential to grow steadily over time. Next, we have target date funds. These are perfect if you want an easy, set it and forget it investment strategy. A target date fund automatically adjusts its risk level based on your retirement timeline. So if you're 30 years away from retirement, the fund starts with a higher percentage in stocks for growth. And as you get closer to retirement, it gradually shifts more into bonds and safer investments to reduce your risk. Think of like having it on autopilot for your investments. You don't have to constantly rebalance or make adjustments. It does it all for you. Now, if you want to invest in real estate but don't have the money or the desire to buy rental properties, That's where REITs come in, which is Real Estate Investment Trust. These let you invest in real estate without actually owning physical property. When you invest in an REIT, you're pooling your money with other investors to own a share of properties like office buildings, shopping centers, apartments, or even storage units. The best part is that REITs pay out dividends, which means you can earn passive income just for holding on to your investment. One of the smartest investing moves you can make is taking advantage of a Roth IRA and tax advantage accounts. A Roth IRA allows you to invest your money after taxes and then it grows completely tax-free, meaning you don't have to pay taxes on it when you withdraw it in retirement. And of course, don't forget your 401k, especially if your employer offers contribution matching, since that's basically free money, as we mentioned. These strategies allow your money to grow over time with minimal effort. And the key takeaway here is that investing doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need to pick the perfect stock or check the market every day. The best investment strategies are the ones that you can stick with consistently. But what if you're thinking, I don't have much money to start investing? And that's where the next strategy changes everything. This is a strategy most people overlook, which is keeping extra money set aside for opportunities. A lot of financial advice tells you to either save every dollar or invest every dollar. But the smartest investors know that having liquid funds available is just as powerful as having investments. And that's because opportunities don't wait for your bank account to catch up. If all of your money is locked away in investments, what happens when an amazing opportunity comes along? Maybe you get a new job offer that requires you to relocate. Maybe real estate deal pops up that could be a game changer for you. Or you come across a business investment or side hustle that you know could generate long-term income. If you don't have extra money available, you either miss out on that opportunity, or worse, you end up selling off investments and potentially losing your gains. And that's why having opportunity money is so important. The best practice that I've found for opportunity money is a 10 to 20% buffer above what I would typically save in my Freedom Fund. So for example, if you were putting $100 each month into your Freedom Fund, then adding an extra 10 to 20% buffer would be $110 to $120 each month. So let's talk about where to keep this opportunity money. For me personally, I always keep opportunity money inside my Freedom Fund because it's the easiest place to track without opening a separate account. And since I track my budget every month, I always know exactly how much of my Freedom Fund is for my emergencies and how much is for opportunities. So here's an example of how that would work. Let's say your monthly expenses are $3,500 a month and you keep 6 months worth of expenses in your account. So that would be $21,000. That would be for your emergencies. So if you had $35,000 in your Freedom Fund, it's pretty easy to calculate that $14,000 of that is your opportunity money that you can use if the right financial move comes up. Now, one more thing to keep in mind is I personally never use all of my opportunity money at one time because let's be real, sometimes lightning really does strike twice. And if I use it all up for the first opportunity and another one comes along a few days later, I'd be out of luck. So that's why I take the time to evaluate how much I want to use for each opportunity so that I leave myself prepared for anything else that might come my way. And this strategy is what separates reactive investors from intentional wealth building. Instead of scrambling for money when a great opportunity arises, you already have a plan in place. Instead of missing out on financial growth, you have the ability to act when the timing is right. So while most people only think of saving for emergencies, having extra money available for opportunities is how you start playing offense, not just defense with your finances. So now that you have these 5 saving and investing strategies, the next big question is, should you prioritize saving or investing first? And there's a lot of conflicting advice out there, but in this video, I break it all down so that you can make the right choice for you. So click here to watch it. And I can't wait to connect with you in the next video.